Some are born to greatness, and others have to achieve greatness through hard work and perseverance. But in the end, they all reach the same mountaintop. And eventually, the challenge is made to see who will stand at the summit alone. Tonight, at FWE Paramount, battles will be won and lost. Careers will be defined through the jubilee of victory. Hopes will be dashed in the agony of defeat, and stories will continue to be written in the annals of wrestling legend on the grandest stage of them all. This is FWE Paramount.
Well, it was back in early March that Fantasy Wrestling Entertainment became a weekly episodic TV series here on YouTube. Fast forward to tonight, it's the showcase of the Immortals. That's where it's all led to. This is FWE Paramount. I'm Seth Cole, alongside my broadcast colleague, the Tri-Wizard Champion, Jack Mitchell. Jack, tonight, it's finally happening. Pinch me, I can't believe we're here.
I can't either. This is going to be the most fun night in the entire history of FWE, the most exciting show we've ever had, and it all kicks off with the United States Championship on the line between Matt McIntyre and Hagrid.
Hagrid winning an 8-man battle royal, hand-picked opponents by Matt McIntyre. His first title defense with the United States Championship is next.
The contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the United States Championship.
One of two members of the Order of the Phoenix that we'll see in action here tonight. And let's be honest, when we saw Hagrid in that Battle Royal to win the #1 contendership, dare I say he looked dominant in that matchup.
He absolutely did. And I mean, what my mind is going to as well is the fact that Harry Potter gave a little bit of a promo before that Battle Royal, and he said that one of the members of the Order of the Phoenix was going to win that match and earn their way into Paramount. He was in this match alongside Dumbledore, I believe it was. So really big statement win, though, by Hagrid, and now he's got a shot to compete for the United States title.
First opportunity that Hagrid has ever had for a singles championship here in FWE. Well, later on tonight, we'll see two members of the family going at it. Matt McIntyre, a member of that faction, but he's got to put all that in the back of his mind as he gets ready not only for his first title defense since winning the United States Championship from Gaston, but his first title defense on a PLE. Of course, he was busy back at Mortal Kombat inside Elimination Chamber. We'll see what he's going to be able to do here tonight with the gold on the line.
It'll be a tall ask for Matt McIntyre. He's a smaller man in this matchup by far, but he was also the man that brought an end to the historic reign of Gaston as the United States champion. So if anyone can win this matchup, it's probably this guy.
It was interesting you bring that up because, yeah, that lengthy reign, the historic reign by Gaston. Gaston is no small man, so Matt knows what it's like to go into a matchup as the smaller opponent. But I was looking at the tail of the tape and was making a comparison between Hagrid and Gaston. Hagrid towers over Gaston in both height and weight. So hopefully whatever Matt was able to learn when he beat Gaston not once but twice in the past, maybe that will put him in good stead heading into tonight's matchup. Of course, Matt McIntyre cashing in on that United States Championship opportunity when he and his family members were successful inside of Infinity War Games. Followed up after the tag team titles were won by Anthony McCurry and Cole Eastwood. We'll have more on that story later on here tonight.
I have a whole lot more on that story later, but for now, we'll send it to Mike Rome.
Introducing the challenger from Leeds, England, weighing in at 285 pounds, Hagen! And his opponent from Evansville, Indiana, weighing in at 192 pounds, the United States Champion, Matt McIntyre!
Going to be the beginning of a very long night for our referee, Ernest, right there, who takes the United States Championship from Matt McIntyre, shows it to Hagrid. He'll display it to the crowd. In my opinion, one of the most beautiful-looking belts we have here in FWE.
Absolutely agree with you. The Captain America shield featured prominently there on the centerfold of that belt. First of multiple titles that we're going to see defended here tonight on the biggest stage of them all. Paramount begins with the ringing of the bell. Here we go. And I think if you're Matt McIntyre, you want to get the upper hand quickly. Take away that vertical base of the obviously stronger opponent.
Absolutely. I mean, I talk about it every single time we see a size disparity like this. You don't have to be the bigger man to win a matchup like this. You can outthink, outmaneuver, out-wrestle the bigger man. So Matt will be keeping those things in the back of his mind tonight.
Saw there out of the gate, though, Matt trying to do just that, trying to get the offense and pretty much just pushing him away is Hagrid, not allowing, kind of keeping that window open here and scoring with the elbow. If you're Matt McIntyre, you're having to weather the storm here by the powerful Hagrid. The thing of it is, too, you mentioned about the fact Harry Potter, he predicted that at least one member of the Order of the Phoenix was going to win that Battle Royal. I believe he also predicted that whoever it was that was going to win was going to go on and win the United States Championship. So if you're Matt McIntyre, you're certainly hoping that Harry Potter hasn't been looking at any crystal balls in divination class.
Absolutely, and I mean, you never know. They have those things at Hogwarts all over the place. As he went into the cover, did Hagrid, but a quick kick out before one, so still plenty of fight left in the champ.
Big knee to the side of the head there by Hagrid. Scores with another big elbow there. You mentioned about the fact you don't have to be the biggest dog in the fight to win the battle. Matt McIntyre has a lot of weapons at his disposal. We've seen a lot of them put to the test, including inside of Elimination Chamber, where he used it on his family member, Anthony McCurry. Maybe one of the big question marks we've got is, of course, we'll be talking a lot more about the inner turmoil inside of that faction as we, for the most part, know where Cole Eastwood alliances lie, but we're not really sure where Matt is in terms of all of this.
Absolutely, and I mean, maybe we'll find out a little bit more later on, but for now, Matt is keeping his focus squarely on defending the United States Championship. I don't know how he managed to jump over Hagrid like that in that exchange.
Oh, gracious.
Knocked right down back to the mat with that clothesline.
boy, Matt's not going to like this landing here. Whoop, going to try and fight out of an attempted power bomb. Indeed is successful in doing so, and now overhead palm strike, and this will help bring Hagrid down, but he stays on his feet.
Now he's going to get sent over the top rope. I think he might be a little too tall for the 10 beats of the bad room. We tend to see that quite often in this area.
No, they would never do that here. Oh! Samoan drop on the outside to the floor, follows it up with a splash. Looked like Matt might have been trying to draw this battle to the outside. He might be second-guessing that strategy right about now.
Maybe a little bit, but if he can prolong this ringside interaction, it'll only help his cause because it's champion's advantage in this matchup.
Great point as the referee Ernest Wright at a count of 3. Hagrid's got to be aware of that here. He's got to get the champion back in the ring before a count of 10, or else the title cannot change hands, and that's if either one of them get counted out here.
Absolutely. You know, Matt McIntyre, because he's a member of the family and what his association is so far, based on his past history at the very least, I wouldn't put it past him to try something a little underhanded, maybe use a weapon of some sort to get himself disqualified and he would retain the title. But at the same time, I don't know if he's going to have the energy for that after being dropped to the floor like that. Great
point. Referee at a count of 7 here. Seems like referee Ernest Wright kind of dragging that count out a little bit here. Knows that this is a big fight stage. Does not want the title to end up changing hands or not changing hands on a count out. And Hagrid's going to reset the count, scoring the elbow from the top rope. He had to leap over the ring post to do that.
He did, but that was very smart by Hagrid because it was a move that not only connected on his opponent, but it reset the count, so it kept his title shot alive.
Count of 5, Matt McIntyre just now starting to stir. A man the size of Hagrid should not have been able to take to the skies like he did right there. And now Matt McIntyre drawing Hagrid in potentially, said bring it on, trying to sucker him in here, and he'll use the steel steps to his advantage.
That he will. Looks like they're going to finally try and work their way back inside the ring. I don't know how Ernest Wright did not notice Matt McIntyre ripping that top turnbuckle pad off.
Well, he might have noticed it, but I mean, as long as it's not used, it doesn't really matter. So he's obviously keeping his eye on that corner, making sure that Matt McIntyre doesn't do anything devious with that exposed turnbuckle.
Yeah, maybe finding a window of offense here. As I say that, though, a quick reversal by Hagrid.
Body shot there, and then a knee to the gut as the receipt from Matt McIntyre floats over, hits the neck breaker.
And has definitely found offense.
Referee Ernest Wright now going over. He's taking the time to fix that turnbuckle pad.
To be smart if you're Matt.
Uh-oh, might be setting up for the Claymore. Hagrid's in the drop zone. He scores it to retain the United States Championship here in tonight's opener at Paramount. And Hagrid kicks out.
Just had enough wherewithal. You see how furious Matt is, but now looking for the RKO.
Scores it! Matt crawling to the cover. Arm draped over the chest of Hagrid. And Matt will retain the United States Championship. What a combo. The Claymore to the RKO. Another big man bites the dust courtesy of the United States champion.
That was the most deadly combo I think we've seen yet from Matt McIntyre in all of FWE, but he was saving his best for the biggest of stages, so I don't blame him in the slightest.
First title defense is successful on the biggest stage here in FWE at Paramount as the celebration begins for Matt McIntyre. This is backstage. That's Jessica Shelton, who in mere moments is going to be taking on Harley Quinn. That's Autumn Brooks. Remember, those two tagged up together not too long ago. And looks like maybe some sort of an agreement reached on here. Not sure what that's about, but welcome everybody here to FW Paramount. I'm Seth Cole, he's Jack Mitchell. We just got done with an incredible United States Championship match. Matt McIntyre taking the victory, retaining the championship over Hagrid.
what a way to get things started here tonight. It's our biggest stage, so that we use the term big fight feel a lot in PLEs like this, but that feeling is going to be very, very apparent tonight. You see how packed this place is. Everybody's excited. Everybody's looking forward to seeing what we have at our biggest show of the year.
The energy in this arena is nothing short of electric. And up next, we get ready for the Iron Woman matchup known as Gotham Rules. Double the time, 20 minutes. Harley Quinn requested this rematch against Jessica Shelton, putting that Hardcore Championship on the line. Let's take a look at that challenge that was issued by Harley Quinn.
Jessie, you fight pretty good, honey. And I'll admit, you got guts. There aren't many women on this roster that would have agreed to meet me in this ring on my terms. Heck, there aren't many women on this roster that would have taken me to the limit that you did. Am I crazy for saying that I had the most fun that I've ever had in a long time? Because it's true. So, Jessie, I have a proposal for you. How about you and I take each other to the ultimate limit? How about we go back to Gotham Rules for, say, 20 minutes? See who can really last longest. Oh, and to really whet your appetite, how about we do it on the grandest stage, FWE Paramount. No rules, no restrictions, just two tough gals kicking the ever-loving crap out of each other. And I know what you're thinking, but hardly, what if you lose the hardcore title along the way? Oh, sweetie, don't you worry your pretty little head about that. This title is not going anywhere. So, what do you say, Jessica? You, me, 20 minutes. Gotham Rules, Paramount, hardcore title on the line. Hope you accept pudding. I can't wait. Let's have some fun again.
Contest is an Iron Woman match and is for the Women's Hardcore Championship.
Like we now know what that conversation was backstage as Autumn Brooks flanking the challenger for the hardcore title, Jessica Shelton. Remember, you go back to our last PLE, Jessica Shelton was the mystery partner with Autumn Brooks when they fought for the women's tag team titles.
Absolutely. That's something else I remember is that from her, I believe that from the first ever Gotham Rules match that happened all the way back at Mortal Kombat, Harley Quinn had someone else in her corner as well. I think she was with Poison Ivy in that matchup. So smart here from Jessica to have somebody in her corner in this match.
Absolutely. She's done her homework here. Jessica Shelton, of course, answered an open challenge on the follow-up show from Mortal Kombat, challenging Harley Quinn for the hardcore title. Harley Quinn won that matchup 2 pinfalls to nothing, but was so impressed with what Jessica Shelton was able to do. The champion requested this rematch, and maybe something else we need to bring up as well. In the tag team match we saw in the go-home show, when Jess teamed with the Women's World Champion Elizabeth Swann, she showcased a couple of submission holds, maybe saying, hey, Gotham's Gate isn't the only submission that could be used in tonight's matchup.
That is definitely something worth thinking about. Gotham's Gate, very, very deadly maneuver by the champion, Harley Quinn.
You mentioned about Poison Ivy and what she did as far as the part she played in that match at Mortal Kombat. Looks like Harley Quinn has called upon her teammate out of Havoc once again to accompany her to the ring. So yeah, great strategy there by Jessica Shelton, evening the numbers in tonight's match.
Evening the numbers, very, very, very important, especially in a match type that Harley Quinn has been the master of, 2-0 in the Gotham Rules match type. If you're unfamiliar, it's, in this case, 20 minutes, no DQ, falls count anywhere.
Would have been easier to just say there's no rules.
Basically, yes.
This is the brainchild of Harley Quinn. It's a matchup that she invented, a matchup that she has successfully twice defended this Women's Hardcore Championship inside of. Now extending the time to 20 minutes. It was an expedited 10 minutes in her 2 previous title defenses. So now it's not as much about strategy, it's going to be a lot more about endurance as we send it down to our ring announcer, Mike Rowe.
Introducing the challenger from Columbia, South Carolina, Jessica Sheldon. And her opponent from New York, the Women's Hardcore Champion, the Psycho Harley Quinn.
Nice to hear our ring announcer Mike Rome's voice is better, as he apparently wanted to give it a little bit of a rest on our go-home show last week. He's got a long night ahead of him as well. As mentioned, there are multiple titles that are going to be on the line here tonight. We saw one defended just moments ago, another one on the line right here, and still plenty to come.
Absolutely. Only one match tonight does not have a title on the line, but that's the submission match between Michael Norman and Anthony McCreary. So I almost wonder if that feels just as much to them like it is a title.
Top right of your screen, you see the 20-minute countdown is, oh my gosh, right out of the gate. I'm not even, sounds like a modified Rose Plant DDT maybe there by Harley Quinn. You see on the bottom right, that is the score counter here. Pinfall, submission, and the falls can take place anywhere, inside, outside of the ring. Woman with the most pinfall submission at the conclusion of 20 minutes will be either the still or new Women's Hardcore Champion. But we also have to stress this as well, Jack. Title cannot change hands on a tie. So if Harley and Jess are tied up, oh wow, I think Harley might have actually landed on that stop sign. If they're tied up, champion's advantage, Harley retains.
That's the only champion's advantage you have in this matchup, though. So it's kind of like you're the away team in baseball. If you're Jessica, you need to make sure that you have at least an advantage of one pinfall or submission.
Interesting thing about this matchup as well is you go back to the matchup inside of Gotham Rules between Harley Quinn and Ariel. You go back to the first exchange between Harley and Jess. Nobody really knew what to expect of the other heading into that matchup. Now Jess, she's going for the cover here and going to get a 2 count, trying to get that early pinfall advantage. Both of these two now have a bit of a playbook on the other, so you kind of now, knowing your opponent, are able to maybe formulate a strategy, the do's and don'ts that you want to utilize in this type of a matchup.
Well, I do agree with that. I think it was a little bit unexpected that Jessica has backup in this matchup. I don't think that they were really prepared to have Autumn Brooks in her corner there for this matchup, so I'm almost curious, is that going to be an X factor? Because there is no DQ. They can interfere. The people who are out here ringside tonight with the 2 competitors, they're allowed to interfere in this matchup.
Fantastic point, and as I noticed just moments ago, Autumn Brooks actually got up there on the ring apron and exposed that turnbuckle there on the far left side. So any weaponry like that can come into play. It is all legal. Oh, looks like the other turnbuckle was exposed as well. So fighting fire with fire was Poison Ivy. As Jessica Shelton now going to go underneath the ring, look for something else. We already got a stop sign, and now we're going to have a table.
Oh boy. Slid that table into the ring, but Harley Quinn came out to meet her and got dropped by 1 punch.
Referee Ernest Wright probably going to want to get out there. There is having a verbal exchange with Autumn Brooks. If a pinfall submission takes place out there, referee Ernest Wright has to be there ready to either count it or ask if the person wants to tap out or verbally give up, depending on the situation here. It looks like we're going to get back in between the ropes.
We might be missing all 12 of our turnbuckle pads by the end of this thing.
I would not doubt it. Top rope elbow scored by Shelton. Lower back of Harley Quinn may have been driven into the metal framing of that table, but she'll kick out at 2. Pretty powerful kick out there by the champion.
Absolutely. I feel like the bottom of her leg area as well was also on the underside of that table. Like you said, that metal frame, it's a painful landing. Oh!
Shots to the midsection, big kick, or Harley Quinn's lights out, just trying to go up, 1 fall to nothing, again a kick out by Harley.
Jess has landed a lot of brutal attacks so far. Obviously, it can get a lot more brutal as this match goes along, but still Harley Quinn having enough wherewithal to kick out.
Past two Gotham Rules matchups. Hold the phone. There's that octopus lock that we saw her utilize in that tag team matchup that forced Mulan to tap out. And it looks like Harley is giving up here. That's going to be one fall advantage for Jess. And to be honest, I kind of understand that if you're Harley Quinn. Get out of that lock as quickly as possible, because if Jeff kept that locked in longer, that would wear Harley down, and we've still got 16 minutes to go.
Absolutely, and I think what we were seeing there was she was using her foot to tap out. That's why we saw her foot pounding the mat a few times. Now stuck in the tree of woe.
Boot into the throat there of Harley Quinn. Oh, and that shot right into the midsection with that kick. Jess has the early advantage in this one. I was going to mention in our two previous Gotham Rules matchups is, oh man, go for the Hurricane Rana. Thought she might go for a pinning combination there, but she didn't. But we ended up seeing Harley Quinn with a runaway victory against Ariel back in Mortal Kombat. It was a lot closer. 2-0 the victory for Harley over Jess in their first exchange in that follow-up show after Mortal Kombat, and oh boy.
Oh no, the sledgehammer being introduced. I don't know if it connected though.
I don't think so. I think Jess was able to just barely get out of its range.
I almost wonder what it's going to do. I know it's very early on in this match tonight still, but I almost wonder what it's going to do for the mental of Harley Quinn if Jess gets the next pinfall or submission. If she goes up 2-0, Harley's in a lot of trouble all of a sudden.
Oh, what a top rope springboard moonsault. Scores with it right on top of Jessica Shelton's head. Forearm shot there as well to follow up. Harley in control right now, to your point, kind of playing a little bit from behind, so maybe a sense of urgency to tie this back up 1-1.
Just a little bit again though, still over 14 minutes left on the clock here, so plenty of time for Harley Quinn to do something, and she's going right up to the top rope.
Oh, Jess was able to get underneath whatever she was attempting. Harley did land on her feet, however. Scores with a couple of the clotheslines, sweeps out the leg.
I don't know if you noticed that, but when Jess tried to dodge that move, as we got a cover here.
Trying to tie this thing up 1-1, and Jess will kick out at a 1 count.
But when Jess dodged that jumping maneuver off the top rope from Harley Quinn.
Oh,
the poison mist.
The mist! It's all legal! Harley Quinn's blinded by the mist! Just looking to go up 2-0, and Harley kicks out!
The point that I've been trying to make is that she drove her own shoulder into that exposed top turnbuckle when she dodged that jumping maneuver, but the poison mist almost immediately bringing the momentum back in her favor.
Oscar lock! Oscar lock is cinched in! Harley still has that mist in her eyes. Is she gonna have to tap? She is! And just like that, Jess is up 2-0.
Oh, here we go, back and forth.
You knew at some point it was going to turn into a slugfest here. Nearing the 13 minutes to go mark. Jess up 2-0.
Just having to contend with her shoulder being driven into that exposed top turnbuckle, but so far, she's holding her own. And a big kick, and her lights might be out now.
Massive chop there by Harley Quinn. Just throws Jess down to the mat. It looks like now Autumn Brooks paying a little dividends here. Some recovery time for Jess as Harley Quinn jaw-jacking on the outside. Went for the chop block, and Harley saw it coming.
Probably taking some time to rub it in a little bit. Can't take too much time, though. You're down 2-0.
Uh-oh. Might be looking for a twist of hate on the table.
Does she have enough to go into the cover? Yes, she does.
Cover is in to draw this back at least 2-1, and somehow Jess gets the right shoulder up.
Like she maybe took just a little bit too long trying to get into that cover, and that's gonna hurt because now you're still down 2-0. Look out!
Hits that Rose Plant DDT once again. Just having to use the ring ropes to be able to get up. And this cannot be good. Oh no.
Oh no.
Top rope twist of fate. That has got to be a pinfall here. No way Jess will be able to kick out of the top rope twist of hate. Harley Quinn will bring it back to within 1.
She might not be done. I don't even know how Jess is able to get back to her feet after that. And now into the table again.
Massive tilt-a-whirl slam. The upper shoulder region of Jessica Shelton down on that metal framing of the table. And now she's got her patented baseball bat.
Well, she dropped it though after that kick from Jessica. Poison Ivy might be distracting our referee just a little bit.
Allowing Harley to be able to deal more damage. Shot right there, dealing into the midsection area, down around the abdomen, elbow. Again, these impacts are against that table as well.
Jessica has got to be feeling some serious back pain right now, but maybe she can reverse this momentum here.
Nice spin kick there by Jessica Shelton. Now to the outside here. Not sure why she would go to that side where Poison Ivy's at. Kendo stick in hand.
Poison Ivy chose to keep her hands clean for the time being, and now Jess going to work with that kendo stick. Oh, but Autumn distracted the referee. He doesn't notice the cover.
Cover is in. Clearly at least a 3. Make it 4. Make it 5 count here. Referee does not see the pinfalls going on, and Autumn may have just cost her partner a crucial pinfall right there.
Oh, look at her face in the background. You can see she realizes what she did.
Could be the opening Harley Quinn needs as she'll roll to the outside, look for a little bit of a respite. Jess not going to let her breathe. Well, I thought she wasn't. Now picks up the sledgehammer. It's going to bring it to the outside.
Oh! That's how you dislocate a knee.
And now into the midsection as well. Harley Quinn down after another debilitating shot with that sledgehammer.
Still not done. Oh, the momentum reversed just a little bit here. Really back on the offensive, drives Jessica into the ring floor, into the ringside floor. Not a whole lot of padding there. It's a concrete floor underneath the ring.
Twist of hate again. That I think she landed on the handle of that sledgehammer.
I think you're right. Into the cover. This counts. Falls count anywhere.
And Harley ties it up. The champion's advantage is back on again. More than halfway through. Oh no, here we go. Gotham's Gate locked in. Is Jess gonna have to tap out? Yes, she is gonna have to tap out, and now Harley goes up 3-2.
Probably gonna have to release the hold for a brief moment, but there's nothing stopping her going right back into that submission. I feel like it's even more brutal when it's ringside right there. Again, concrete flooring, not a whole lot of padding underneath it.
Less than 9 minutes remaining here. We would have been done with this matchup if it was under the normal time limit of 10. We doubled the time here tonight. It is 3-2. Champion's advantage as a tackle there. Maybe a modified spear by Jessica Shelton trying to gain the upper hand again. She has to score at least 2 pinfalls or submissions right now for the title to be able to be exchanged.
You can see, though, that is the strength of Harley Quinn in these matchups. She was able to very, very, very quickly reverse the momentum in her favor. Here we go.
Asuka lock in again. Can she get it tied up? Is Harley going to have to tap out at center of the ring?
Yes.
And there's the tap out. We're tied at 3.
Page advantage still in the play, but a quick kick and now right back into the cover.
This is smart. This is really smart. And Jess is going to go 4-3. This is the same kind of thing we saw Harley Quinn do back in her title defense against Ariel, where she locked in Gotham's Gate, then went for the pinfall afterwards. Crash and burn there by Jessica Shelton, but your opponent's worn down. Might as well go for that early pinfall again, see if you can take advantage, and Jess did just that.
I was just talking about how that was how Harley Quinn is so good at these match types, but immediately Jessica Shelton doing exactly that.
Oh, Poison Ivy, I think she might have been thinking about getting involved right there if Harley hadn't gotten to her feet. Drop kick scored there by the champion. Now Harley's got the pressure on her. She needs at least 1 pinfall or submission to at least tie this thing back up for the champion's advantage.
You can't get distracted. You can't let the big energy of the crowd get in your head either. Gotta stay focused, stay sharp here. Realize you still have plenty of time. They're coming right next to our announce desk.
Hurricane Rana scores there by Harley Quinn. Now 7 minutes remaining, and you gotta feel at some point here, as here we go, Gotham's Gate gonna get locked in again. You gotta feel at some point, one of these 2 women, maybe both of them are gonna be worn down enough that it's not gonna take much to get a pinfall or a submission. Harley ties it back up as Jess has to tap to Gotham's Gate once again.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point. I mean, they're going to wear themselves out so much to the point where if they're still tied and there's maybe only a minute or two left, one pinfall, one submission might be all it takes to win this thing.
Surprising, Harley brings it back inside of the ring. She's had her last two pinfalls, or last two submissions, I should say, outside of the ring. You'd think she'd want to keep it out there. Big kick there by Jessica Shelton. Is this going to be enough to go up 5-4? Yes, it is.
I don't think it matters where it happens if you can land a huge kick like that. Oh! Just wrenching on that arm. Jessica has all the momentum in her favor right now. She wants to take full advantage of it.
Surprising she brings Harley away from the ropes. It wouldn't have mattered as now she's going for that octopus lock. Got it locked in. Is Harley going to tap? Looked like that foot might have been tapping. Yes. Referee Ernest Wright says that was a give up. And now it's 6-4 in favor of the challenger. Harley in trouble here. Her title might be quickly ripping away from her grasp here with 5.5 minutes to go.
I was about to say, too, Jess was still staying on the offense, but right before I could even get that sentence out, Harley with a bunch of shots to the upper body region. Uh-oh.
Tornado DDT.
My goodness.
And Jess gonna roll to the outside. Harley might not be willing to let her breathe right there. Look out, referee. Oh, gosh, suicide dive, and she got her own teammate. Cover.
Just landed on that chair.
Cover in after the suicide dive, and Harley Quinn's gonna pick up a fall. Now draws it closer. 6-5 in favor of the challenger.
That was such a brutal landing, and another one right there.
But how smart by Harley Quinn there. Oh, might have been going for twist of hate. Jess fighting out of it. How smart there by Harley Quinn, realizing with falls count anywhere. Immediately went into the cover after the suicide dive. I don't think many people would have the wherewithal to remember that.
Absolutely, but this is her match type. This is what she specializes in.
Whoa, hold on.
Oh.
Might have taken a little too much time there. Jess with the roll-up on Harley Quinn. And she's gonna steal one right there.
And to your point you just made, but this time in favor of Jessica, she was able to have enough wherewithal and understanding it's falls count anywhere. I can go into this roll-up and sneak in a cover.
4 minutes to go. Jess up 2 falls, 7-5.
I don't want to make any predictions too early, but I honestly feel like if Jess gets the next pinfall or submission, this thing might be over. There's only 3 minutes, 50 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, I might be looking for it right here. Armbar locked in here, cinching it in on that left arm, trying to dislocate, hyperextend the shoulder. Harley with a nice reversal, though.
Oh! All the weight was on the top of her head when she went for that reversal.
Oh, hold on, though. Caught Harley Quinn out there. Octopus lock is in again! And Harley's tapping out. To your point, that could have been the pinfall that's going to determine this matchup. 8-5 in favor of Jess. Closing in on 3 minutes to go. And here's another cover. Just trying to get it out of reach for Harley Quinn. And Jess will get a nightfall.
This thing is over. I mean, we still have 3 minutes left, but they've been reading each other's playbooks so well. But to that point, I feel like Jess has done just a little bit better of a job of those reversals. And, you know, you see all it takes are those little moves, those little kicks to down your opponent because they're so worn out.
I'm getting shades of Mortal Kombat. Harley Quinn just absolutely annihilated Ariel with the scoreboard, but there's the DDT. This is how Harley Quinn got the 2 pinfalls on Jessica Shelton in their first exchange, looking to at least try and get close, and just kicked out.
How did she kick out? I think Harley Quinn's asking the same question. She cannot believe that Jessica kicked out of that.
Hits the reverse spin kick, does Jessica Shelton. That might have taken and sucked all the confidence out of Harley Quinn. Not able to put Jess away with the DDT. And now Jess just feeding off of this momentum. Hits the roundhouse kick again. 2 minutes to go in this Gotham Rules match. And again, locks in the octopus lock.
And she immediately taps out with the foot.
Harley has got to be running on fumes right now, it would seem. Jessica Shelton taking advantage of this challenge by Harley, going in for another cover. She's got twice the amount of pinfalls already. She'll add to the total, 11-5 with a minute and a half to go. Now Jess is just trying to make a statement. It's pretty much written in stone that she's going to be the new hardcore champion.
You know, to your point earlier, if Harley Quinn was able to get that pinfall earlier after she landed her move on the outside of the ring, she might have started to feel like she had a chance to come back in this matchup, but Jess was able to kick out of it, completely sucked all the life out of Harley Quinn, and like you said, she's just basically running on fumes. Another submission locked in.
This has been incredible what Jessica Shelton's been able to bring to the table in the submission game. We didn't see her have any type of submission moves in their first Gotham Rules exchange. She knew Harley Quinn had the Gotham's Gate. She was going to have to change her repertoire. She has done just that. 3 different types of submissions she has brought to the table here tonight, and she is now less than a minute away from capturing her first singles title here in FWE.
And she's going to soak this one in as she brings her opponent right into the center of the ring, right into the center of attention in this entire arena, so everyone can see her crowning moment here as the new hardcore champion.
20 minutes remain here, the clock ticking down on the title reign of Harley Quinn. Harley trying to score something here late, hits the twist of fate, but look at Jess, so smart, rolls to the outside. Poison Ivy gonna try and get her back in, but we're gonna be at 0. 11-5 is gonna be the score tonight in Gotham Rules, and Jessica Shelton is the new FWE Women's Hardcore Champion.
Here is your winner, and new Women's Hardcore Champion, Jessica Shelton.
Well, Harley wanted the match. She wanted the time doubled. Jessica said, bring it on. And tonight, here at FWE, she is a brand new champion in the women's division.
Hey, Jessica. Hey, Jessica, up here. Hey, congratulations, darling, you did it. You are the new women's hardcore champion. You must be so proud, and I hate to put a bit of a dampener on this moment, but you see that title that you now have on your shoulder? Well, it used to belong to me. And you know, the funny thing is that I never got an official title rematch, so I've had a word with the FWE commissioner, and he has made it official. Your first hardcore title defense will be against me on the November 13th episode of FWE. Now, I know that if tonight is an indication of what you are capable of, I'll have to bring my A game, but I'll be a good sport about it and give you the champion's privilege to name the stipulation for a match. Make it a good one, because no matter what it is, I promise you that by the end of that night, I will be a 2-time FWE Women's Hardcore Champion. See you in 2 weeks, champ.
Well, how about that? Not only are we settling scores here tonight, we're building towards the weeks following tonight's episode of Paramount. 2 weeks, Jessica Shelton, Wonder Woman for the hardcore title.
I can't wait for that, but Wonder Woman made it very clear what her intention is. She wants to have that hardcore championship back around her waist. We'll see that matchup in 2 weeks.
What an incredible night it's already been. Still so much to come. If you're just joining us, I'm Son Cole, he's Jack Mitchell. Matt McIntyre retained the United States champion. Jessica Shelton is the new women's hardcore champion. A lot more titles here to go, but we could end the show right now. It's had that much of a big fight feel. We're only a quarter of the way through our card.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to seeing what the rest has in store for tonight. I mean, I'm looking forward to being part of this whole thing, part of the main event as well. That's a huge honor for me. So huge night in store. Don't go anywhere.
Absolutely. As we now set our sights towards the men's mid-card championship, it's the Intercontinental title. Robbie Gilvin puts the title on the line in a triple threat. Carlos Zimmerman and Hades had to qualify via fatal four-ways. They have a shot at their first titles in FWE. Gilvin, Hades, Zimmerman. That's up next for the DC Comics Intercontinental Championship.
Come on, ladies, sing along with Hades. Let me show you girls around in my town. New Hades sure beats living underground in my town. I got a penthouse on Spark Avenue. I'd like you to see. The following contest is a triple threat match. And it's for the Intercontinental Championship. Introducing the challenger, representing the Disciples of Darkness from the pits of hell, weighing in at 220 pounds, the Warden.
Well, arguably going to be the biggest individual in this triple threat. And as Hades makes his way down to the ring, we want to send our well wishes out to Aladdin, who we understand is still recovering. I mean, I don't know what it was, but Hades just targeted Aladdin during that Fatal 4-Way qualifying match. Not one, not two, not three, but 4 tombstone pile drivers to Aladdin en route to him qualifying for this triple threat match.
I mean, it was just brutal move after brutal move that Aladdin was on the receiving end of, and Hades got the cover on Aladdin as well to qualify for this matchup, so definitely a brutal experience for him. We wish him the best. Hopefully he's well, but Hades now has a title to focus on winning.
Second title opportunity here for Hades. He formerly challenged Michael Norman for the Intercontinental Championship a number of months ago inside of a steel cage and was unsuccessful. Now he takes a shot at the Intercontinental Championship.
And introducing the challenger from Houston, Texas, weighing in at 235 pounds, Carlos Cody.
We saw Jessica Shelton, who's had a very short stint here in FWE. She's walking out of Paramount, the new women's hardcore champion. Carlos Zimmerman, he's only been in FWE for a cup of coffee, looked really strong in his qualifying match, and might be able to leave here tonight the new Intercontinental Championship, kind of cement his resume here in FWE.
Absolutely. I mean, Carlos has had a heck of a resume so far for just his short time in FWE, and now his first PLE appearance, looking to win his first singles title.
This is not Robbie Gilvin's intro.
No.
What?
Are you kidding me?
Hold the phone! Is he actually here? He is! Oh my gosh!
RJ Bishop is back. The former multi-time Men's Disney Tag Team Champion. We haven't seen RJ Bishop for months since he lost in that last man standing match against Nick Gunther. It would appear that the Burger Demons have been vanquished and RJ makes his return here tonight at Paramount. But does this mean now he was just announced? Does this mean this is now a Fatal 4-Way? I think we have a Fatal 4-Way on our hands. I can't believe what I'm seeing here. Like you said, we haven't seen him since he got finished with Nick Gunther in that one-on-one feud between the former members of Vicious and Delicious.
I think I heard a thud when he entered out on that rampway, and it was the collective jaws in this arena hitting the floor. RJ Bishop is gonna be in this matchup. Fatal 4-Way now, a shot at the Intercontinental Championship. What a return, as now the champion makes his way to the ring.
And choosing the champion from Louisville, Kentucky, weighing in at 290 pounds, the Intercontinental Champion, Robert.
Robbie's had an incredible stint here as Intercontinental Champion, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. But the thing I gotta think about, Jack, is if you're the champion, Robbie Gilvin, you were expecting to defend that title in a triple threat match. Now you've got an extra man added in, and what does this do for the two challengers, Zimmerman and Hades? Because this kind of depletes their odds of winning the title.
It does a little bit, but I'll tell you one thing. Robbie did not look phased whatsoever when he was making his way down the entrance ramp. I feel like he's telling RJ, let's go right now. And I will say this, a little bit of credit to RJ as well, because unlike certain people, he's not screwing someone out of a title opportunity. Nobody was taken out of this matchup so that RJ could enter. It's just a fatal four-way.
Great point there. Is Intercontinental Championship on the line. Robbie Gilvin won that title from Michael Norman in the go-home show to Royal Brawl, successfully defended it then against Michael Norman in a 2 out of 3 falls match, and now looks to retain it, but the odds are not in his favor, as it's going to be a fatal four-way now for the Intercontinental Championship, and here we go. Gilvin will square off with Hades, Bishop with Zimmerman.
Well, it may now have an extra competitor in this matchup, but the rules are basically the same. No countouts, no disqualifications, as there's a nice DDT by RJ. He looks like he's completely in shape to return to this matchup.
Now, we talked about this back in the qualifying matchups for both Hades and Zimmerman, that triple threat rules basically kind of the same as a fatal four-way. There's no disqualification, there's no countouts, weapons can be used. The fact is, we got a cover here right out of the gate by RJ Bishop on Hades. It kicks out at 1, but the fact that it's a fatal four-way here, did Carlos just knock down a referee?
I think he did.
Ernest Wright is down. That is zebra abuse. But now that it's a fatal four-way, and Hades and Zimmerman have already been here before qualifying in through fatal four-ways, does this maybe help them in terms of their playbook? Or their strategy? I don't know.
I don't think it does, because I feel like Robbie's the only one who would know what to expect from these two, because he's had the fatal four-way qualifiers to watch this match and prepare for his opponents. We haven't seen RJ in forever.
Robbie going to eliminate RJ out of the picture, at least for the moment there. Like Hades was inside the ring waiting for somebody to enter into his domain. Now he finds a kendo stick, and he'll deliver it to the skull of Carlos Zimmerman. Oh, Robbie, oh gosh!
Look out, Robbie. I mean, you don't want to be messing around like that. As Hades just shatters the kendo stick. What a hit.
And then RJ just swantoned Carlos after getting hit with that kendo stick.
Carlos right back up to his feet, though. It's still a little bit too early in this matchup for him to go down that easily. You see our referee, Ernest Wright, has made his way back onto his feet, paying attention to the action again. The pinfall or submission has to take place inside the ring, so he's just waiting for the moment when he can call something.
Carlos right out here in front of us, his abdomen into the corner of our announce table.
There might be more of him going through the announce table in a moment.
Oh man, look at this. You can just see the color of Carlos's face in front of us changing to beet red as the blood rushes to his head with that suspended vertical suplex.
Oh, RJ's got a steel chair, tried to use it on Hades, but Hades was quick to pay attention to what was going on over there.
You have to bear in mind as well. Oh gosh, was that a double punch? Carlos and Hades just hit a double punch, a synchronized punch on RJ Bishop. I've never seen that before.
RJ quickly got back up to his feet, though.
I'm going to mention the fact that for Carlos Zimmerman and Hades, neither can in any way be at 100% as RJ bounced off the ring post there. Both were in those fatal four-way qualifying matchups that went quite long. Hades had the most recent one. He was actually busted open as well at the end of that one. So, and RJ again, this time into the steel steps.
I'd be willing to venture, though, and say that Hades has been the best competitor in this matchup. Oh,
gosh.
Tombstone.
I don't know about you, but every time that happens, I wince.
It's brutal. It's very, very brutal.
Aladdin knows exactly what that feels like as Carlos Zimmerman, the receiver of the Tombstone piledriver, on the outside. And we can't stress this enough. There is no padding on this floor. There's only a slight, maybe an inch thick of padding there, but it feels like there's nothing there. It's almost like your head is hitting concrete as what a fall-away slam by Carlos.
Look at the strength of Carlos. I think he tried to capitalize and go into the cover, but Hades worked his way back into his feet. Oh, look at the strength.
Oh, gosh. Power bomb. And now Robbie Gilvin going to take advantage here. He'll mount Carlos Zimmerman, trying to score with the palm strikes. Cover here to retain the title.
quick kick out. RJ thought about breaking it up for a moment, but it looks like he realized that.
Oh, cover here.
Look at this.
Hurricane Rana by Carlos. RJ not aware of it, and Carlos almost stole the title right there. Hades kicked out, but barely.
That was great ring awareness by Carlos Zimmerman. Now he's got RJ locked up.
Oh no, choke slam to Robbie Gilvin. But now Carlos looking for another power bomb on Hades.
Goodness. But he
Gilvin's
doesn't go
down.
for the cover.
Cover here on Gilvin.
Both of Carlos' opponents were down except for RJ. RJ tried to put him away with that kick, but it completely missed.
Look at this. RJ trying to steal one here on Hades. Carlos is outside the ring and Hades is kick out at 2. That nearly was perfect strategy by RJ Bishop.
Timing is everything in a fatal 4-way. Gotta make sure both of the other competitors are incapacitated before you go for that cover of your own.
Hades back to his feet. RJ up over the top. Carlos to the outside. And now Hades locking in the bear hug on Robbie Gilvin, trying to wear the champion down.
Wore him down for a little bit, but those elbow strikes to the head and boxing the ears is Robbie Gilvin. He's going to fight his way out of it. Now I'm going to try to continue carrying the momentum in his favor.
Oh! Falcon driver there by Robbie Gilvin. Impressive. A number of these guys have been able to lift up Hades from a dead weight.
I mean, I couldn't even lift up Thanos, but these guys are lifting up Hades like it's no problem. Look out now.
Tuning up the band is Robbie Gilvin. Sweet chin music scores. Can he get to the cover here? This is how he ended up retaining the title from Michael Norman.
But it looks like,
yeah, he can't get to the cover there. He can't capitalize.
Took a little bit too much out of him, more than he would have liked. Could not capitalize, now searching for a weapon. RJ Bishop and Carlos Zimmerman have been going at it on this entrance ramp for quite some time, and now the steel chair to the head.
This is a big arena, but I bet even the cheap seats could hear that one. Oh, and again!
Another one for good measure.
RJ has been busted open with that first steel chair shot, and the second one didn't do any favors to that wound.
You're basically telling RJ you're going right back to the bench after that one.
Hades now into the steel steps. Nice kick there. Spin kick to the gut by Gilvin. And he knows who hit him with that steel chair shot. He just targeted out Robbie Gilvin, the champion.
That he did, and now gonna go for the spinning head scissors. This is gonna hurt.
Lower back onto the floor. Oh, gosh.
Big clothesline.
Really just took RJ's head off. Oh, and then a kick to the back by Robbie Gilvin.
These guys are fighting as hard as they possibly can. I don't think anyone's really been that affected by the fact that it's a fatal 4-way now. Oh, a low blow by RJ.
Gilvin,
it's legal.
It is. No disqualification. Referee Ernest Wright maybe in the safest place right now. That's inside the ring. Everything taking place on the outside. It's Hades and RJ squaring off. Zimmerman takes down Robbie Gilvin.
Now has RJ up on his shoulder, drops him on the knee. Hades went for a huge boot. It did not connect. Carlos Zimmerman, the last man standing right now. Now two of his opponents are stirring. Somebody's got to get back in the ring at some point, as Carlos will be taken down by a big forearm from Hades.
Robbie Gilvin looking to defend this Intercontinental Championship for Hades, RJ Bishop, and Carlos Zimmerman. A win scores them their first singles title here in FWE. The champion is not with the advantage right now. Oh my gosh, he's already had one done, and it's going to be a second tombstone. That could take Carlos Zimmerman completely out of this thing. And look at the champ in there. A lot of time to be able to catch his breath, regain some strength.
RJ could have just sent Hades to his doom in this matchup.
Cover in here to retain the title. And RJ, well, it looked like he was going to wait and see if there was going to be a kick out. He waited till the last minute to break that up.
A little scary to wait for a 2 count. I feel like he went for a 1 count. Multiple competitors getting dropped there.
Oh,
Oh, a
what
huge kick.
Massive kick there. Pump kick by Gilvin. Nobody's around. This could be it. Cover is in. And Robbie is going to retain the title against the odds.
Here is your winner, and still Intercontinental Champion, Robert.
Did you see the face of Hades after that matchup?
Yeah. Eyes rolled back in his head.
He has been through war. Honestly, all of them have been through war, but I'll tell you what, Robbie, all the credit in the world to him. He was not fazed at all by the sudden appearance of RJ Bishop. It'll be very interesting to see where things go in the coming weeks now that RJ's back in the ring.
Incredible matchup here. Congratulations to Robbie Gilvin. His title reign continues here in FWE. The incredible return of RJ Bishop here tonight, taking part in what was supposed to be a triple threat, turned into a fatal four-way. But up next, women's tag team action. The Daughters of Thanos winning the little mini tournament to be the #1 contenders to take on the Disney Queens. Belle and Rapunzel, they've had a stranglehold on these titles. Daughters of Thanos looking to make history to become the first two-time women's Disney tag team champions, and that's next. Well, the Daughters of Thanos, Nebula on the right, Gamora on the left, former women's tag team champions. They've had some pretty good runs in singles competition as well. Nebula, two-time female fighting champion, lost that title at our last PLE Mortal Kombat, but these two, they kind of had to run the gauntlet there in that mini tournament. They were able to advance to the finals, picked up the victory, and now have a chance for history. We've mentioned it. 5 teams in the women's division have held the Disney Tag Team titles. No team has ever held it more than once.
Yeah, it feels like the women's tag team championships have been getting passed around like a hot potato here, but potentially opportunity to make history, as you said. The Daughters of Thanos can become the first two-time women's tag team champions.
A lot of people had questions when Gamora and Nebula were in that steel cage, the elimination chamber at Mortal Kombat, if maybe the team chemistry would go away. They proved in that tournament the chemistry is still there. As Belle and Rapunzel, the women's tag team champions, tonight could be a big night for the Disney Queens. Mulan's going to be fighting for the Women's World Championship later on this evening. Could be a lot of gold heading to that faction at the end of Paramount.
There very well could be, as the second time that the Disney Queens will defend the women's tag team championships. Pretty sure they also had to go up against one another in the qualifiers for the Elimination Chamber as well. So their chemistry was tested at least once as well in the past, but it seems like these two are still on the same page, are going to be sticking together, and they have to be when the titles are on the line on the biggest stage of them all. First and only tag team matchup tonight here.
The following contest is a tag team match set for one fall and is for the Women's Superstars Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challengers, the Bad Girls, and their opponents, the Women's Superstars Tag Team Champions, the Queens.
Well, it's been quite the run for the Disney Queens. They won the women's tag team titles from Kim Possible and Shigo, successfully defended them at the last PLE Mortal Kombat against Autumn Brooks and Jessica Shelton, who tonight is now our new women's hardcore champion. Can the streak continue for Belle and Rapunzel as they go up against two women who have been at the top of the tag team division before?
So far tonight, we've had 2 title retentions, only 1 title change hands so far. So trying to go potentially 2-2 record for the challengers in this. We got a quick and early cover, but a quick kick out as well.
Yeah,
Maybe a bit of a mental thing.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no way that Gamora's going to put Bell away that quickly. Referee Ernest Wright took a little bit of time getting to that cover as well, as here comes Nebula in and going to get met with a DDT.
So far early on to this one, the champions are going to try and make a statement. They're going to say, hey, you went through that whole gauntlet of a tournament, so you're probably not at 100% going into this matchup, and we're going to take full advantage of that.
Here comes Rapunzel as both went for a move there. Neither one scored. And we talked about this last week in our go-home show. It seemed like after Royal Brawl, everything seemed to come up roses for the Disney Queens. Mulan ended up winning the Royal Rumble. Eventually, Rapunzel and Belle won the tag team titles. Ariel, a multi-time hardcore champion. So they're trying to ride this wave of momentum here into Paramount, as Rapunzel with the kicks there right into the face, right into the mouth of Nebula.
Nebula stuck in that corner. This could be a good spot. Oh, I was going to say it looked like maybe she fought out of it for a second, but I think Rapunzel just reversed everything.
Oh! Tornado DDT scores. Here's the cover to retain the titles. Gamora was going to get in there to break it up if Nebula needed the help, but she kicked out on her own at 1.
Now the tag. Nebula quickly up to her feet, though.
You brought up a great point as well. Nebula, Gamora, no way they can be at 100%, but also the fact that there were 3 matches that Nebula and Gamora had to take part in to be able to be the #1 contenders. That's a lot of tape that Rapunzel and Belle were able to watch to scout out their opponents here tonight.
Absolutely. All that time in the world. They have plenty of time to prepare. Look at the strength. That was with 1 arm.
Almost a guillotine choke right there from the top rope by Belle. Had a 5 count to be able to release that there. As now Gamora in off the tag. Springboard forearm drops Belle to the mat. Oh, and look at that. Belle was trying to get for the tag and Gamora cut her off.
That's what I was going to say. Rapunzel was reaching her arm out trying to say, tag me, tag me. And now the sleeper's locked in.
Belle gonna tap out. No, hits the jawbreaker to fight out of it. And now has Gamora over in the wrong part of town, over in enemy territory, as the tag in by Belle to Rapunzel.
Tossing Gamora over the shoulders, but she quickly gets back to her feet, and then she'll be brought right back down with the Hurricane Rana. Rapunzel in control. The spinning head scissors. Been a favorite move of a handful of competitors, and it's an effective one. Into the cover.
It's extremely disorienting with the spinning, with the landing, cover in, kick out by Gamora. Oh, and now, oh gosh! Forearm right down into the gut there, planting Gamora, and she got the tag to Nebula. I don't think Rapunzel realized it.
Trying to take full advantage, though. But again, if you're Gamora, that was smart there. It took a little bit of time, but eventually she got out of the ring. The referee would have given her a 5 count. That would have been a DQ, and we would have had a title retention.
Champion's advantage in this one here. Nice springboard moonsault by Rapunzel. Now dragging Nebula away from the ropes. I don't think she was necessarily, oh yeah, so she was trying to clear to be able to hit another standing moonsault, cover in, and Gamora is going to break that up. Flatliner by Rapunzel, looking maybe to transition into the Code of Silence. Submission locked in here. If Nebula taps, the champs retain. It looked like maybe Rapunzel may have let go of that hold. Now hits a huge springboard moonsault.
Gonna go for the tag here. A very, very smart move. Get a fresher competitor in while your other opponent is down. Nebula, though, quickly back to her feet. Gets a kick in. Belle able to reverse that momentum.
Belle with the takedown. Kick to the back of the head. Oh, gosh, and then gets a kick for her own troubles right to the top of the dome.
And again, Bell reversing the momentum, a DDT. She's in full control of this exchange right now. But is she going to capitalize?
Went for the right hand, blocked by Nebula. Irish whip off the ropes. Oh, and the pop-up forearm by Nebula. And now goes over to tag Gamora in.
Gamora going to have to take advantage of the work that was started by Nebula. But again, the reversals by Bell have been on point in this matchup so far.
Oh, look out, referee. He's already been knocked down once tonight. Doesn't want to have it happen again. As a big kick to the back of the head by Gamora.
You know, it's a smart move. Again, tagging into your fresher teammate while your opponent is down.
Oh!
Superman punch connects.
Lights out for Bell to become the new tag team champions, and a kick out at 1.
We're getting pretty far into this matchup. I'm not sure how she was able to kick out at 1. Again, the reversal, it can be so demoralizing when you feel like you're in position to hit one of your bigger moves and your opponent sees it coming.
Oh! Underhook into the powerbomb by Bell to retain the title. And just getting out of that at 2 is Gamora.
Trying to get her opponent away from the ropes.
We've mentioned about the factors. Looks like Bell gonna tag in Rapunzel. We've had 5 different teams hold the women's tag team titles. Daughters of Thanos, Team Let It Go, Mystery Incorporated, Shigo and Kim Possible, and now most recently the Disney Queens is a nice code breaker there by Rapunzel, and now she's going up top.
I'm gonna put this thing away.
Oh! Did she hit? I think she missed it.
Yeah, I don't think she connected with any of it. Oh! A series of springboard kick attempts or something like that. None of those really connected either until that last one.
It didn't look pretty, any of it.
At this point, though, I'm not sure it has to. You're not fighting for style points. You're fighting for the tag team championships.
Uh-oh, Gamora's got Bell up. Oh, and now Bell again.
Again.
This is it, scouting out. Had all of that tape to look at. They've got a reversal for everything the Daughters of Thanos have been throwing at them.
Oh!
Not for that, though. Cover in to be 2-time tag team champions and not even a 1 count. Look at the face of Gamora. She can't believe that wasn't even a 1.
And you talked about all the teams. It's a who's who of who has held the Women's Disney Tag Team Championships, but they've all only been 1-time champions. If the Daughters of Thanos are victorious tonight, they become the first 2-time Women's Tag Champions in FWE history. Right, gonna spill out to the ringside. You see Ernest Wright is administering his count of 10.
Oh.
If he reaches that 10 count, it's a count out, and the title does not change hands.
Gamora's got to be aware of that. Bell is down right now at a count
Here
of
we
6.
go.
Okay, well, we've been waiting for it. We knew it was going to happen at some point tonight.
Crowd counting along to the 10 beats of the Badger, but our referee, Ernest Wright, is at a count of 8.
Bell is to her feet. Count of 9. Oh my gosh!
She very well could have just stayed on the outside of the ring and let the referee count 10.
I was just thinking that. If it's that close, I'm surprised Bell didn't just take the count-out loss and retain the titles.
A woman of the people is Bell. She knows that the crowd here does not want to see any kind of match end on a count-out.
But can you imagine if the Daughters of Thanos are successful here tonight and win the tag team titles for a second time? Will that be a moment that Bell will be replaying over and over in her mind?
That's exactly what I was thinking, as there's a huge punch to the gut. Sleeper locked in.
Wrong part of town, far portion of the ring there. Able to fight out of it, however, but how much did that wear Bell down?
Nebula, the one getting those reversals in. The cover
to win the tag team titles for the second time in their career, and Bell powers out at 2. The frustration setting in here for the Daughters of Thanos.
And the frustration very apparent as Bell now able to get the hot tag in. Nebula went for some kind of spinning clothesline, did not connect, and now the arm drag. Bell's got to get out of the ring.
Well, looks like she's going to go out whether she wants to or not there, courtesy of Nebula.
She'll be escorted out to ringside. Rapunzel quickly back to her feet as Nebula backtracking a little bit. Big DDT! Could that be it?
Cover is in after the flatline DDT, and Gamora, I think, realized that could have been it as well, breaks it up. Rapunzel might be pointing to the sky, getting ready to fly here. Rapunzel over the top with the senton. And that may have taken just as much out of Rapunzel as it did Nebula.
Rapunzel, though, very quickly able to get back up to her feet, and it took...
Oh!
Ooh, the spear to the ringside. I was going to say it took Nebula a little bit of time to get up out of that, but now she doesn't have a partner.
Gamora's
the submission's locked in.
Yeah, the code of silence with no Gamora in sight. Nebula has nobody to help her. But releasing that hold. Rapunzel releases the hold. Scores with the moonsault.
I think Rapunzel might have realized that Nebula does not have anyone to tag in. Gamora now just getting back up to that ring apron.
Going back to it again.
The code of silence going to be locked in again.
Back locked in again. Third time that Nebula's been in this code of silence. And she's tapped out. The Disney Queens retain the titles tonight at Paramount.
Here are your winners, and still Women's Superstars Tag Team Champions, the Queens.
Well, they could have retained on that count out. It was 9.999 before Bell got back in under the bottom rope. Could have been a costly mistake, but Rapunzel with the code of silence puts Nebula away. The Disney Queens will leave Paramount with the gold still over their shoulders.
Disney Queens have been very, very dominant as of late, and credit to Gamora and Nebula. They fought about as hard as they could, but the dream is dead for now. We have yet to find who our first two-time Women's Disney Tag Team Champions are going to be.
Incredible night here. We are halfway through our card this evening. A couple of world championships on the line later on tonight in our double main event. But up next, this one had a very interesting build as Carson Gum had to run the gauntlet of Dumbledore, Hagrid, and eventually Harry Potter. It got him the title shot here tonight as he looks to take the Wayfinder Cruiser Championship from the boy who became champ. It's Harry and Carson. Wayfinder Cruiser Championship on the line here tonight at Paramount.
Is scheduled for one fall and is for the Global Cruiserweight Championship.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
It has been quite the last couple of weeks for Carson Gum. He issued the challenge to Harry Potter for the Cruiserweight title. Harry said, all right, you want a title shot, you gotta run the Goblet of Fire. Carson did so. He got Dumbledore, he defeated the powerhouse in Hagrid, and then even despite the underhand tactics, a chop block attack before their matchup against Harry Potter, Carson Gum persevered. But with all that being said, Jack, there's very little chance Carson's coming into this title match tonight at 100%.
We keep talking about this with some of the matches here tonight, but it really is that big of a factor whether or not the competitors are at 100% going into these matchups, because if you're not fully healthy, if you've maybe got some kind of lingering injury or something like that from those matchups, it can affect you in your match for the actual title.
Saw it there on the stats as Carson was making his way down to the ring as well. Of course, to be able to get this title shot, he was able to defeat Harry Potter. He comes into this matchup 1-0 against Harry in singles competition. Does that give any advantage to Carson Gum, at least maybe at a mental standpoint, that he already holds a pinfall victory over the Wayfinder Cruiser Champ?
Absolutely. You go into a matchup with your opponent and you have the mentality, I already beat you before. That's going to get in your opponent's head.
go back to Mortal Kombat inside Elimination Chamber. Harry Potter became the new Wayfinder Cruiser champion. Puts it on the line here tonight at Paramount. And you've got to think Harry cannot be in the best of moods right now, as his prediction was incorrect. Hagrid was not successful in gaining the United States Championship earlier tonight in our opener. Harry Potter certainly hoping that that trend does not continue for him in his title defense.
Harry, of course, the one man who was not necessarily turned into collateral damage by Dylan Young after that whole debacle in the men's Elimination Chamber match. Will stay on top of things, win the Cruiserweight title.
We know that obviously based off of their previous matchup, Harry is not afraid to stoop to some underhand tricks. He comes into this matchup with the champion's advantage. That's something Carson's going to have to be aware of, that Harry Potter will more than likely not be shy of cutting some corners to still leave Paramount with that Cruiserweight title around his waist.
Introducing the challenger from Denton, Texas, weighing in at 230 pounds, the fireman, Carson Grimm. And his opponent from Manchester, England, weighing in at 100 pounds, the Global Cruiserweight Champion, Harry Potter.
I don't know how much statistics come into play, but for Harry, at least some of the good news for him would be the fact that in our 3 title matches, make that 4 title matches so far tonight, the title has only changed hands once. 3 retentions so far this evening. Harry looking to be the 4th.
I feel like if you're Carson Young, though, you're thinking, man, it might be overdue for a title change here so far tonight. So he's going to try and make that one happen here in this one-on-one matchup. We find a Cruiserweight Championship on the line. Here we go.
Carson's road here to the title has been so impressive on so many levels. You go back to that match with Dumbledore. He kicked out at 2 of a super curb stomp. His matchup with Hagrid, obviously the smaller opponent, but the deceptive power with which he was able to muscle up Hagrid multiple times, delivered the Dominator to put him away, and then, of course, able to fight through the pain after having that knee injury pre-match to be able to get the victory on Harry Potter, getting him this title opportunity here tonight. And maybe a little bit of an interesting thing right there, Jack. You notice the knee that he put Harry Potter over? That was the knee that was not injured. So that left leg might still be a bit gamey.
It very well could be still. I mean, you're only a week removed from it, so it's got to be feeling a little bit better at this point, but it's still, you know, it can be a little bit tricky because Carson's a guy who has very deceptive strength. We've seen him lift up some bigger men, and it's something to keep in mind because when you don't have that vertical base, that takes away a lot of those moves, and it really interferes with your balance. So far, though, he's not really affected by it.
Big splash there by Carson Gum. This Wayfinder Cruiserweight Championship we saw get introduced a few months ago. It's been in the hands of obviously Harry Potter, Cusco, the very first holder of the title, and the gentleman here to my left, Jack Mitchell, holder of that title belt as well, as Carson muscles up Harry Potter and again delivers the lower back across the knee.
And holding that Cruiserweight Championship, it's a bigger deal than I think some people might realize because the Cruiserweight division, very, very athletic. They're known for their high flying, their quick maneuverability. So winning that title, you know, proving that you're the best in that division, it can send out kind of a warning to the rest of the roster saying you can be willing to compete for some other championships as well. And, you know, that's kind of how I made my path to becoming the Tri-Wizard champion.
FW Commissioner, obviously, as we saw, put a lot of emphasis on that title belt, making it the title on the line inside Elimination Chamber at Mortal Kombat. As Carson laying in the kicks and Both going for something, both missed. Carson's going to gain the advantage off of that mistake and hits the Samoan drop.
That's a big Samoan drop. Harry's going to be feeling that one in his spine, but back and forth, we're about to go. A slugfest in the middle of the ring. Listen to this place.
The old adage, you wouldn't hit a guy with glasses, I don't think that applies here if you're inside an FWE ring.
When you're inside the ring at the biggest show of all of them, it doesn't matter. I think one of them might have been busted open, but they're still going shot for shot.
That right hand, I think, from Carson Gunn may have busted up Harry Potter. I can't tell exactly where he might have grazed him. I thought he might have hit him flush on the nose. I can't really tell. Is Harry going to roll to the outside of the ring, look for a little bit of a rest after that exchange of right hands? Carson not going to let him breathe. Immediately on him there to the outside. Bear in mind, though, referee Ernest Wright going to begin the 10 count. This might have been something that Harry Potter, an underhand tactic. Oh my gosh!
I don't remember what that move is called. We've seen it a few times in FWE.
Painful.
It's one of the
That's
more
what it's
brutal
called.
ones.
Right out here in front of us, there is that raw core strength by Carson. Gunn the Dominator onto the floor.
Oh, he's not done. He's still got to get Harry in the ring.
Might be setting up for that spinning powerbomb. This is how he put Hagrid away. Oh, he hits it, but on the outside. He's got to get him inside of the ring, though, for the pinfall to take place.
That's exactly what he's doing. You see the Irish Whip tosses him right back into the ring. Harry Potter's back is completely busted up right now after being dropped with a powerbomb twice into the floor at ringside. Is he looking for another one?
This could be the finishing blow if Carson's able to hit this. He's got Harry down and out, center of the ring, up and down with the powerbomb. The cover is in to win the Wayfinder Cruiser Championship. Carson's done it. What was it Harry Potter called it? Eternal glory? I think that's exactly what Carson Gunn was able to achieve.
Absolutely. A fantastic showing by Carson Gunn. I talked about the deceptive strength, and he was able to put it on full display tonight, and we've got a title change for the second time tonight in our 8 matches. But now, coming up next on the card, the only match that does not have a title on the line, but it's one I'm looking forward to more than anything else here tonight.
How in the world do we build this one up? It ended up being one of the most dominant factions here in FWE when we left Infinity War Games. But now the cracks have made their appearance and the severing has taken place. Once brothers, Michael Norman, the leader of the family, now gonna take on Anthony McCrory, who he put through a table a few weeks ago. Anthony made an amazing return, but now it's a submission match for the leader of the family here tonight.
Is a submission match. Making his way to the ring, representing the Rockers from Richmond, Virginia, weighing in at 220 pounds.
And maybe more ramifications for Anthony than Michael coming into this matchup, because for Michael, if he loses, he's no longer the leader of the family. Anthony is elevated to that status, but if Anthony loses tonight, if Michael is victorious, if he forces Anthony to say, I quit, Anthony is not just quitting the match, he is quitting the family for good.
I think it's just even more poetic that we were able to get a submission match out of this rivalry, because you're basically, when you win a submission match, it's because the opponent admitted that they were weak enough, that they were willing to quit. And that can be a very, very embarrassing thing to have on your record. So it just adds to the tension, I feel like. I do need to issue a brief retraction, by the way. I said I was looking forward to this match more than anything else, but obviously I've got the main event title defense later tonight. So
As a spectator, we'll say, right?
Yes, as a spectator.
Well, Michael Norman, the leader of the family, organized this group back at FWE Sugar Rush. They have found success since then. They were successful inside of Infinity War Games. It translated to Anthony McCurry, Cole Eastwood winning the men's Disney Tag Team titles. Matt McIntyre went on to win the United States Championship, which he successfully defended earlier on tonight. But Michael Norman lost the Intercontinental Championship. His leadership was kind of called into question. Anthony was the spokesperson, and he ended up being the fall guy in all of it as well, as Michael Norman snapped. Anthony was on the shelf for a couple of weeks. We saw him make his return, and maybe an interesting point of note, as Cole Eastwood had Anthony as his replacement, Anthony did pick up a pinfall victory recently over Michael Norman. Now, granted, that's not a submission, but we'll see if that ends up playing into any momentum here in the early going of this blood feud.
Here we go. These two are going to lock up in the middle of the ring for the first time since that match last week. And as you said, submission match. It's very, very brutal. There's no DQ. There's no count out. The only way to win is to make your opponent tap out.
And normally we would be thinking about what's going through the mind of the other family members. We know Cole Eastwood has seemed for the most part to align himself with Anthony McCurry. Jury's still kind of out on Matt McIntyre. We know nothing about his opinion of what's going on. We saw him not really let whatever this is, this family drama, bother him in his United States Championship title defense earlier on tonight, as Michael with a big splash there right across the chest of Anthony McCurry. But this seems to be going a lot deeper than just Anthony versus Michael. It seems like it's affecting all the members of the family at this point.
I mean, Cole Eastwood was willing to throw away the men's tag team championship just to, you know, take a shot at Michael and basically say what you're doing is wrong. Michael Norman's been operating from behind the scenes, really, as the leader of the family. He was the one that went to the extent of forming this faction, getting everybody together, getting them all on the same page, but he's been operating in the dark ever since, and it's kind of almost poetic that he's the one who's basically been losing all these title matches as he drives McCurry into the ring mat, now has him lifted up again.
And I will admit, Michael did make some good points. He did mention the fact that if he hadn't brought Anthony and Cole and Matt into the faction, more than likely they would not be title holders here in FWE at this point in time. The success they were able to find inside Infinity War Games led to them eventually holding the tag team titles and the United States Championship. So he's right about that. But to what you said there, it kind of seemed like the unity of the team has been 75% of it. Michael kind of went off in his own little tangent here. Hold on. Well, Cole Eastwood, we already know where his alliances lie, and looks like he's going to make his presence felt here at ringside.
Distracting Michael Norman a little bit, so we'll add a little bit, another layer to this game of, what is it they call 4D underwater Mahjong chess?
Something like that. Anthony now trying to take advantage of that distraction spear. At this point, he would have gone for a cover, but remember, it's a submission match. You can't go for a pinfall, and here he goes for the submission.
Here we go, man. Would that be something if Michael was able to tap out right here? Or if he was forced to tap out, rather. Kick to the head, reverses the momentum.
Oh, now Michael setting Anthony up here for something. Looking for the end of days, and he'll hit it. But again, you got to go for the submission. You can't take the pinfall. It won't count.
I think he's trying to get him away from the ropes. Trying to put him right in the middle of the ring mat.
Oh, and now going to lock in a vice there right on the shoulder, trying to pinch the nerve. Anthony will sweep the leg and get out of that submission hold.
I really got to wonder what this is doing for the mental of Michael Norman, being distracted by Anthony's tag team partner, Cole Eastwood. Former tag team champions before the title was taken off of Anthony McCurry. That's something to keep in mind as well, is that Anthony never lost that championship.
Great point.
It was forcibly taken by Michael Norman. And they had to put those titles, he had to put that title on the line alongside Cole Eastwood against the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And of course, the Ninja Turtles retained that title after Cole Eastwood walked out on Michael.
Interesting point of note as well here, too. We don't really know much about the submission game for either of these two individuals. We saw Anthony debut the Anaconda Vice in the go-home show here at Paramount. Michael Norman relies more on his strength and power, not as much the technician here. So we saw him put in a submission there with a vice grip on the shoulder, but you got to wonder what else does he have in his playbook.
Yeah, that definitely is worth keeping in mind. I mean, these two already know each other's playbooks as it is outside the submissions game. Look at that.
Anthony out to ringside with the senton. Referee going to begin a count of 1 here. Now this is interesting because what would the end result be with a count out? You have to get a submission to be able to win, but I would have thought in this type of a matchup there wouldn't be any count outs. If a count out takes place, is it a double count out and a no contest? I don't know.
I'm not entirely sure what the ruling would be, but it looks like these two are pretty keen to make sure that we do get a finish to this matchup, to this blood feud.
Oh!
Look out!
Side slam and into the Anaconda Vice. He's got it cinched in. Michael, can he reach the ropes or can he fight out of this? Looks like maybe Anthony released the hold. Oh gosh, and then a big boot right to the side of his head.
That's a huge kick to the head. That's going to stun you. Now leaning him up against the ropes. Michael trying to deal some extra damage by exposing that top turnbuckle.
It's all legal, I believe.
It is. There's no DQ other than the countout, I guess.
Oh, now going to lock in a rear naked choke. Anthony down, legs grapevine. Anthony with nowhere to go. Is he going to tap out? If he taps out, he's out of the family. And I don't know if he fought out of it or Michael released the hold, but you can see Anthony was clutching at his throat, gasping for air. And now Michael has him up and down with the driver.
Good night. That's going to be
Cinches
it.
it in. He's got the chin lock locked in. Look at the knee on the lower back. Is Anthony going to tap out? Oh, Michael let him go.
Yeah, I guess Michael released the hold. I was thinking there was absolutely no way that Anthony was going to be able to get up from that on his own.
Oh! The exposed turnbuckle! That turnbuckle was exposed. Anthony's sternum just went into it.
That's what I was going to say. The exposed turnbuckle was right there. Michael showing absolutely no remorse.
Anthony was already... He was gasping for air after the rear naked choke. That's not going to help the breathing at all.
Look at his
now
forehead.
Michael now into the rear naked choke again. Oh, but
Anthony barely gets to the ropes.
the toe must have just been under the rope. It didn't look like it from that angle, but referee Ernest Wright noticed it. Now he's going to try and repair that turnbuckle, but Anthony's been busted open. Now the submission locked in again. If Anthony taps out, the ref doesn't know it.
He may not know it, but this is brutal either way. He barely gets to his feet, though. He's going to have to try and do something to reverse the momentum because it feels like it's been all in Michael Norman's favor.
Anthony is fighting to stay in the family, to be the new leader. Michael might extinguish Anthony's career in the faction. Just shows the lengths these two have been willing to go in this matchup. It has been no holds barred from the get-go. Powerbomb scores for Michael.
Trying to finish the job again. Get in the center of the ring so you cannot get anywhere near the ropes to try to break the hold. Dodges the kick, though, does Anthony. Now trying to fight back. Again, this is our only non-title match of the night, but it feels a whole lot more like a title to these two.
Absolutely does. So much at stake here for both individuals. Anthony busted open, the blood trickling down his face. It's got to be running into his eyes, causing vision problems here. Double knees there to the back.
I'm not sure he cares at this point. He knows how close he is to getting the job done now. He's been able to get all the momentum back in his favor. Oh, Michael suckered him in with that kick to the head.
Oh, what a German. Oh, and now the lariat clothesline.
Twisting and turning his opponent all over the place, and now
chin locked in, knee in that lower back. He's got it cinched in. Anthony's got nowhere to go. There's no rope to be able to break, and Anthony has tapped out. Anthony is out of the family.
Here is your winner, Michael Norton.
see the way Anthony just dropped to the floor ringside right in front of our announce table. I'm not sure he knows how to feel, but I know damn well how Michael Norman feels right now.
Michael Norman remains at the top as leader of the family. Anthony no longer a part of the faction. I have a feeling, though, that the wounds of this war are still going to continue to be felt in that faction. The fallout with Cole Eastwood, where does Matt McIntyre stand? I don't know, but we'll be probably finding out in the coming weeks. As up next, this seemed like a normal one-on-one matchup before Mulan took it to new levels, putting the champion Elizabeth Swann through a table. Because of that, first time ever, 2 out of 3 tables match here tonight for the Women's World Championship of the Galaxy.
People have doubted me since day one, saying I was just riding on the coattails of the crew. But then I showed them. I won money in the bank. I cashed in. I became the FWE Women's World Champion, and I have successfully defended it night after night. Now I head into my toughest match yet, to perform under the bright lights of FWE Paramount, with one of the toughest women on the roster ready to do anything it takes to win my title. Believe me, I do not take Mulan lightly. But I also feel that every match I've gone through has me well prepared. So now I focus up, keep a wary eye on the horizon and see the task before me. I will walk into Paramount with this belt, and I will be walking out still your FWE Women's World Champion.
Following contest is a 2 out of 3 falls match and is for the Women's Universal Championship.
First ever here in FWE, and it takes place here at Paramount as Mulan, the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble match, guaranteed title shot here tonight, looking to cash in on this opportunity.
We've talked about in the past before how you can absolutely launch your career just by winning that Royal Rumble matchup, and that's exactly what Mulan did. Did not really have a whole lot on her resume until she won that Royal Rumble.
Republic of China, the Ancient Nightmare.
Mulan fired the first shot, if you will, that brought about this stipulation. After Elizabeth Swann was in a brutal fight with Poison Ivy, Mulan would strike post-match. She would take the champion out, put her through a table, and now here tonight, we'll have an opportunity to put Elizabeth Swann through not 1 but 2 more tables as she looks to become the new Women's World Champion.
And introducing the champion, representing the crew from Kingston, Jamaica, the Women's Universal Champion, Elizabeth Turner.
It has been an incredible run for Elizabeth Swann after she cashed in her Money in the Bank briefcase all the way back at FWE Sugar Rush. Shout out to our graphics department with all these stats on our wrestlers here tonight. 162 days as women's champion, and I think the biggest thing there, 4-0 in her last 4 PLE title defenses. She defended the title against Shuri at Infinity War Games. She defended it twice against Autumn Brooks at Royal Brawl and then at Saturday Night at Springfield. Elizabeth Swann has been on an incredible run ever since winning that women's world title.
I mean, dominant doesn't even begin to describe it. Yes, the title defense numbers haven't exactly been the highest, but she's been winning open challenge after open challenge. It got to the point where she was issuing all of these open challenges just to try to find out who her next #1 contender would be. The only person really successful in any of those open challenges was Autumn Brooks, and Autumn was not able to take the title off of her no matter what she tried.
Something to bear in mind here as well is that Elizabeth Swann is a former two-time hardcore champion. So in a matchup where it's going to involve weaponry with tables, you'd have to think maybe a little bit of the veteran experience would go in favor of the champion. But Mulan is no pushover as these two now get ready to square off with the Women's World Championship on the line. And let's just make this clear here. You yourself have to put the opponent through the table not once but twice in order to be able to win the title.
It's called a 2 out of 3 tables match, but it's basically the combination of a 2 out of 3 falls match and a tables match. So you put someone through a table, you get a point. First to 2 wins the title.
Already success tonight for the Disney Queens after Belle and Rapunzel were able to retain the Women's Disney Tag Team titles against the Daughters of Thanos. Mulan looking to bring more gold to the faction here. She had that table and then decided instead to go back in the ring. Then Elizabeth Swann tried to get the table. Mulan did not allow her, so the weaponry, at least for the moment, not coming into play.
That was a big springboard, but I think that was a bit of a mental thing by Mulan. Act like you're going for a table, and then she catches the champion off guard by immediately going back to the ring when she exits it. So, trying to keep the champ on her toes a little bit is Mulan.
Nice
big
spinning
drop on her knee.
backbreaker right there. Standing moonsault by the champion, Elizabeth Swann. Now, she didn't necessarily get the pinfall, but Elizabeth Swann does have a tag team victory here more recently over Mulan. Oh my gosh!
She just put herself through the table. I don't think that's going to count, but...
No bell rang, so that does not count as a fall for Mulan. She was going for a senton. Mulan sidestepped, and Elizabeth Swann went through that table.
Oh, and now Mulan is going to meet the underside of another one.
We appreciate everybody tuning into our biggest show of the year, FWE Paramount here tonight. Reminder, next Thursday night, it's our new season premiere, a brand new dawn here in FWE. We already know some of the fallout that's taken place here from tonight. We know in a couple of weeks' time, Jessica Shelton, the new women's hardcore champion, will put that hardcore title on the line against Wonder Woman as Mulan was just deposited into that table that was propped up against the barricade.
Here comes another one, but yeah, absolutely. Definitely the beginning of a new dawn here in FWE starting next week as we get ready to make the road towards Fallout in Las Vegas. So look forward to everything we've got planned for you over the next few weeks as here we go, Mulan in prime position.
Elizabeth Swann looking to go up 1 fall to 0. Mulan gut first into that table. And now Elizabeth Swann's got her up, maybe looking for the suplex. And she does! She'll hit it! Just like that, immediately the champion in control, up 1-0.
Well, these two have both gone through a table at least once, but of course with Elizabeth putting herself through a table, it's not going to count as a point, but that one absolutely does. And now, if you're Mulan, you've got the disadvantage. You have to put Elizabeth Swann through a table twice in a row to win the title.
Sudden death, really, for Mulan right now. Have to run the table, literally. There you go. I didn't mean to make that pun, but it somehow kind of happened.
Well, it makes perfect sense for this match type, and the table debris is just going to stay in the middle of the ring. You can use that to do a little bit of extra damage.
Gosh! Dueling tables, and Elizabeth Swann won that exchange.
Didn't realize we were going to have a table joust here tonight, but I guess you never know what to expect on the biggest show of them all. I'm trying to set that table up in the ring corner.
Well, look out. It's going to fall. Yep, okay. I thought it was going to fall on one of them.
I don't think it falling on you would do as much damage as being put through it, though.
Probably not. Now
Speaking of being put through it, Mulan trying to set it up in the corner of the ring. It doesn't have to be propped up. If she can maybe Irish whip Elizabeth Swann through that table, it counts.
Now he's got a hold of a second table here. Oh, she suckered the champion in.
Well, full credit to Elizabeth for fighting back, even though she knew her opponent had the weapon, and now she rips it away and uses it for herself.
Now with the second table in hand, gonna prop it up. It looks like they're in that other corner, giving herself some options here as she only has to put Mulan through one of them to retain the title. How many tables we got under this ring?
I'm confused. I didn't realize we had so many tables. I knew we had a tables match, but it's a 2 out of 3 tables match. They only really need 3 of them. Although I guess maybe 4, considering they're putting themselves through tables in this match. So I guess the people were well prepared for this one.
Oh! I think she was looking for that Death Valley driver through the table, but didn't quite hit it.
Elizabeth in full control, looking to continue that absolutely dominant Women's World Champion of the Galaxy reign that she has had going.
Gonna slip through. Might have been playing a little bit of possum there. And now Elizabeth Swann bounced forehead off of the ring apron. Uh-oh.
You can't put her through that table. That will not count.
I mean, it's still a table.
It is, and it would do damage.
Massive clothesline there by Mulan. Challenger now in control of the champion. Those 2 tables precariously propped up in the corners inside of the ring.
Pulls back in, gonna try and do some damage as she's dropped onto the back of one of the remnants of the first table.
Again, for Elizabeth Swann, she's already got it. Oh! Whoa! She hit it that time. No table in sight to go through. But Elizabeth has already put Mulan through 1 table. Just needs to do it one more time. Mulan has to put Elizabeth Swann through not 1 but 2 tables to win the Women's World Championship. And is there really another table under there?
Oh my goodness. Where did we find all this table? Where did our budget go?
There had to have
this
been
many tables.
There had to have been a sale at IKEA or something.
Has to have been. Surprised they sell that many folding tables on IKEA.
Well, they don't anymore, probably. Oh, look at this.
We just bought the whole inventory.
Yep, we did. Like Mulan trying to do something there with that table that's kind of propped up against the barricade there. Now bringing Elizabeth Swann over to that table that she set up at ringside. Elizabeth's going to take that table away.
Oh, I don't know if that was the smartest move because she maintained the momentum.
Oh! Oh! Sandwiched right between that table and the barricade.
Never mind what I said. Immediately after doing that, she was put right between the table, put right between the barricade. A rough landing, and now I think that was a reverse GTS.
Scores it right on the chin of Elizabeth Swann, and then again a table shot.
I don't know if she has enough room to set it up over there. She might be trying, but I just don't know. I feel like they've got to worry about the ones that are currently propped up in the middle of the ring. On each of those corners.
Back into the ring we go. Challenger in control, going back out there to ringside, going to get that 3rd table and bring it in. Well, I thought she was going to.
Playing chicken with each other a little bit now.
Elizabeth Swann going to grab that table that was propped up on the barricade. Mulan not going to allow her to do so. Tough situation here if you're Mulan, knowing that you have to... Oh, wow, what a spin kick there.
I think you were going to say about how she had to put her opponent through a table twice now, whereas Elizabeth Swann only has to do it once, but now onto the shoulders, looking for another GTS.
Now plenty of time.
More time.
Plenty of time to set up that table if she so chooses, wherever she'd like to.
Are they chancing one more time for another finishing move, or one more time for bringing out another table from underneath the ring?
I'm not sure.
Well, now it's finally set up. Don't want to take too long, though, if you're Mulan.
Gut first into the table. Look how Elizabeth just crumpled to the floor. Her forehead might have actually bounced off the table as well on the way down. Oh, what's she setting up for here? Oh!
Oh!
Modified stunner there by Mulan. That table precariously close. Mulan may have bad intentions with it.
I think Elizabeth barely managing to fight her way out of that, though.
Oh! Oh! Gosh, the velocity with which Mulan was sent into those steps.
I felt that one. That was so brutal. That's into the steps, into that LED ring post, I think, partially as well. That's a brutal landing. Never mind being put through a table. Being put in all that steel is even more brutal.
That table precariously there, and now Mulan will send Elizabeth Swann into the steel steps. You got to put your opponent through a table, but you can use everything at ringside at your disposal here in this type of a matchup.
Absolutely. I mean, if there's another weapon somewhere underneath the ring, they can use that. It's legal. There's no DQ.
Oh, hold on. Looking maybe. Oh, the float over stunner by Elizabeth Swann. That may turn the tides here for the champion.
This could be it. This very well could be. Oh, she doesn't go for the table, though.
It'd be a costly mistake there. She did have Mulan down and out.
Just deciding to inflict some further punishment on the challenger.
Table set out on the outside over there on the far side. You've got a couple of tables still propped up here in the corners, and there's no way there's another one under there. Oh my gosh, there is.
Just got an infinite well of tables underneath the ring right now, but I'm going to be honest, I feel like this is what Mulan wanted. She was the one who put Elizabeth through the table in the first place to force this match type.
Right now, might be reconsidering her choices as the champion stands tall, sets that table up in the middle of the ring. If she hits her through the table right here, right now, Elizabeth Swann retains the title. Irish whipped into that table there.
In precarious position.
Uh-oh, might be looking maybe for some type of a Spanish fly. Mulan fights out of it.
Big time if you're Mulan to get a reversal, and now the clothesline.
Now Mulan, the momentum shifts in the favor of the challenger.
Well, maybe it's going to work out in her favor after all. Again, I talked about her potentially wanting the match type. She already had the guaranteed title match after winning the Rumble, but look out!
Powerbomb! Oh! We're tied at one each. It's sudden death. Next table determines the champion.
She can finish the job right here.
And that's what she's trying to do. Bringing her over to a second table. Oh, and Mulan is going to win the title.
Here is your winner, and new Women's Universal Champion,
I would venture to say that this is our biggest title change ever in FWE. 162 days for Mulan as the champion. It's over. We have a new Women's World Champion.
Capitalizing on winning the Women's Royal Rumble match, tonight Mulan realizes her dream as the new Women's World Champion of the Galaxy. What an incredible matchup. It seems like every time we put these new stipulation matchups here in FWE, they continually deliver. We never know what to expect, but we are always left in amazement. As up next, my friend, you've got a task at hand as you get ready to take on another Royal Rumble winner from this year, Ernie the Keebler Elf, my colleague Jack Mitchell. It's the Tri-Wizard Championship on the line in our main event. Let's go back to the promo that my colleague cut after Mortal Kombat. Looking forward to tonight's match.
Since losing the Wayfinder Cruiser Championship inside the Elimination Chamber, I've had a minute to reflect. I got this opportunity because I wanted to become a double champion. I felt like I had done everything to earn the opportunity. And when I was given that chance, I made the most of it. I became the first person in FWE to hold 2 singles titles simultaneously. And I said that it was the start of the Jack Mitchell era. And then we got to Mortal Kombat, and I felt all of my momentum come crashing down. I wanted to have a double champion moment at the biggest show of them all, and that's not going to happen. But I am still the world champion. And that's a whole lot bigger than just me. This is the North Star of the industry. And it means the entire company is on my back. I am responsible for maintaining the integrity of the sport and for giving the people a champion worth celebrating. But make no mistake, while it may not be all about me, the Jack Mitchell era does not end here. This title still represents that I am the greatest wrestler in the world, and I will not let the underhanded tactics of some little elf undermine all of that. And FWE Paramount, I'm going to prove that I'm the best to ever step inside this ring, and I look forward to walking out the same way I walked in. Still, your Tri-Wizard World Champion.
One of these days, everyone will know. But for now, I stand alone. I count my enemies like trophies. I wear my scars so they can show me. Now I've got nothing left to prove. So when I look at you, all I see are trophies. I'm not afraid.
Is scheduled for one fall and is for the Men's World Championship.
Secrets buried deep, twisted grin sharp as a knife, baking chaos still.
Well, it was back at the Royal Brawl that Ernie the Keebler Elf defeated 30 other superstars, 29 other superstars in the 30-man Royal Rumble match to get this title opportunity here tonight at Paramount. He's had an incredible career, a rather controversial one here in FWE. No one will ever forget the feud that he had with Matt McIntyre that eventually led to Ernie the Keebler Elf being fired from FWE. He was eventually reinstated. He would enter the Royal Rumble and he would cash in on the opportunity. He will get to fight tonight for the Tri-Wizard Championship. But we have seen that Ernie has been willing to play some mind games as well. Took the opportunity in a one-on-one champion versus championship matchup between Matt McIntyre and Jack Mitchell to try and scamper away with the title belt. He was unsuccessful. We'll see though if those mind games might work out here tonight. We've already had a title change just moments ago from Mulan, who won the Women's Royal Rumble match. Could lightning strike twice here for Ernie as he'll look to head into next week's season premiere as the new Tri-Wizard Champion. Jack Mitchell, you go back to Saturday night's main event. Jack Mitchell had an opportunity to fight Dylan Young for the Tri-Wizard Championship. He cashed in on that opportunity. He also became a double champion while holding at the time the Wayfinder Cruiser Championship. He lost that title belt inside Elimination Chamber, but having that main title, the Tri-Wizard Championship around his waist, puts him in the main event here tonight. And I can't help but remember backstage, before we came out here tonight, we passed by Matt McIntyre. We've documented his feud with Ernie the Keebler Elf and he left Jack this chilling message: you cannot let Ernie be the leader in FWE. So a lot of pressure on Jack Mitchell here tonight as he looks to defend that Tri-Wizard title on the biggest stage of them all. It has been an unbelievable night here at Paramount. Titles have changed hands. Battles have been won. And now we head down for the final announcement tonight from our ring announcer, Mike Rome. Our main event is moments away from kicking off.
Introducing the challenger from parts unknown, weighing in at 103 pounds, Eerie. And his opponent from Los Angeles, California, weighing in at 200 pounds, the Men's World Champion, Jack Mitchell.
As my broadcast colleague so eloquently put it, the North Star of the men's division, that Tri-Wizard Championship, up for grabs here tonight. Final bell rings and we're underway here in our main event. Ernie trying to get the upper hand with a heel kick right out of the gate. Mitchell fights out of the rear waist lock and he'll score with the disaster kick. Here's the cover right out of the gate to retain the title, and Ernie's not going to let it end that quickly. Oh, and here we go. 10 beats of the Batterum by Jack Mitchell. Raining in the fists on the chest region, right on the knot of that tie of Ernie the Elf, who then just flops down to the floor. Champion's advantage in this one-on-one matchup. Referee Ernest Wright going to start administering the 10 count. Title cannot change hands. So Ernie's got to get Jack back inside the ring if he's going to have a shot at winning this title. Hits the Hurricane Rana on the outside. An amazing night here at FWE Paramount. I mentioned it in the preface here tonight as there's a springboard splash by Ernie. Shoots the half, cover in to become the new Tri-Wizard champion. And kick out at 1. FWE got started back in early March. Since then, it's been a weekly episodic television show here on YouTube. As Ernie, I think he was going maybe for a Hurricane Rana. Mitchell reverses it into the powerbomb backstabber. And now scores the Superman punch. But who would have thought back in March we'd have gotten to this point? The biggest show of the year, Paramount. Next week is now Jack Mitchell up over the top rope. Ernie knows a thing or two about putting individuals over the top rope. That's how he won the Royal Rumble. As now he'll look to take advantage. Next week will be the season premiere, the new season here of FWE. And one of these two men is going to be walking in at the top of the heap with that Tri-Wizard Championship belt. Right hands raining in by the challenger. Ernie the Elf, we know he's got a mean streak. We're seeing that exemplified right here, right now, as again, further right hands to the forehead. Oh, and a nice reversal there by Jack Mitchell. And now just gonna start stomping away at the chest region. Mitchell setting up here. Oh, looking for the Samoan drop. Samoan drop hits, cover is in to retain the Tri-Wizard Championship, and Ernie kicks out at 2. Matt McIntyre earlier on tonight retained the United States Championship. Robbie Gilvin against the odds. A returning RJ Bishop still remains the Intercontinental Championship. Rapunzel and Bell still hold the women's tag team titles as Mitchell misses the splash. Jessica Shelton now the new women's hardcore champion. New champion in the women's division as well for the Women's World Championship as Mulan wins the title from Elizabeth Swan, ends a 162 title reign. And Anthony McCrory had to verbally say, "I quit." He had to tap out to Michael Norman. He is no longer a member of the family. That has all led to this point as Ernie looking for the pop-up Bulldog. Mitchell's cranium delivered into the canvas. Ernie feels he's in control. Couple of shoulder tackles, seemingly no effect. Now he'll lock the legs. Hits the airplane head scissors spin. I believe Mitchell may be busted open around his hairline there after the Bulldog. So Ernie will see that crimson mass continue to feel like he is in the advantage as Mitchell rolls to the outside. Ernie, top rope, Hurricane Rana. Now back inside of the ring, but he's got to get Jack back in there as well. Ernie cannot win the title on a countout. Waiting for the champion who gets back to his feet to enter back in between the ropes. Oh! Mitchell suckered him in. Went for the flying crossbody. Jack got back under the bottom rope, and now he'll almost score. I think he was going for the senton. Instead, he kind of hit a drop kick there. The boot connected with the face, but Mitchell's lower back connected with the floor. That might have taken just as much out of him as it did out of Ernie. Pop-up forearm. Referee's count did reset after Ernie exited the ring, so we're back at 3. More damage being inflicted on the outside. And the venomous right hands there by the champion to the side of the head of Ernie the Keebler Elf. Back into the ring. Referee at a count of 6. Mitchell back in. Oh, Ernie with a little bit of a taunt there could cost him. Mitchell hits the disaster kick off the middle rope. Here's the cover. Oh, but the referee says that the hand was under the rope. That may have saved Ernie's chances to win the title, but there's the sling blade. Sling blade from out of nowhere. Cover is in to retain the title at Paramount. And Ernie somehow, someway, got the shoulder up at 2.999. Forearm after forearm shot. Rapid fire by Mitchell. Irish whipped up the ropes. There's a sling blade again. Cover is in. Will this be enough to put Ernie away? It will. Mitchell retains the title tonight at Paramount. Jack Mitchell still at the top of the heap. Still the Tri-Wizard champion here tonight in our main event. Hold up, that's Dylan Young. That's Dylan Young attacking Mitchell from behind. Dylan Young, who has been a thorn in the side of Jack Mitchell ever since the Elimination Chamber match in Mortal Kombat. Belt off the skull. Obviously, the tension between these two is far from over. This will undoubtedly carry into our season premiere next week. Thank you all for joining us here tonight at Paramount, the biggest show of the year with a massive ending here tonight. We'll see you next Thursday night, the season premiere of FWE.